Okay, so welcome back to the Fire Emblem Three Houses blind run. Last time we did the paralogue with the Death Knight and found out that the Death Knight's true identity is Chugga Conroy Noam. Actually, just a character in this game called Emil. And I'm probably going to explore now, but I don't think I'll show much of it. But I actually do have quite a few supports right now, and this one looks pretty interesting.
What's wrong, Ash? Why are you standing there?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking about how I've changed so much and you haven't aged at all.
I've been thinking. No matter what I do, Lenato and my brother are never coming back.
Do you hate me?
I don't know. Maybe I do. I know you're an ally I can trust, a knight I can respect. But maybe I do.
Why don't you take a swing at me? I bet that'll make you feel better.
What?
Don't just stand there with that timid look on your face. Come at me!
I don't think that's going to help.
This isn't about avenging the dead. It's about taking revenge for yourself. It's how survivors move on. What will you do, Ash? You're welcome to stare at your feet for the rest of your life. Ah, that look in your eye. I like it! Come on! Put your back into it!
Catherine?
Yes, Ash?
I don't know what's right anymore. I don't.
Don't be a fool. You decide for yourself what's right and what's wrong. I believe Lady Rhea is right, so I won't allow anyone to bring her harm.
What about a friend? How could you kill a friend to protect her, with no hesitation?
I couldn't. I'll never forget that day. When they took him, all I could do was stand there. I had to persuade myself, saying over and over under my breath, this is the right thing to do. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have been able to stand there. I would have cried out. I'm still persuading myself even now. I probably will be for the rest of my life. If I let myself regret what happened, he will have died for no reason.
Catherine.
Uncertainty is weakness. Someday, Ash, you'll have to make up your mind. You know who I am. What will you do about it?
Oh, okay, wow. Ending it there. Does remind me a lot of Matthew and Jafar, actually. That's actually an interesting support. I'm wondering if you recruit Ash on the Black Eagles route and you're going Edelgard's path, can you actually have Ash fight and potentially kill Catherine? I wonder if that's a possibility. Oh, wow, Catherine has a lot of supports unlocked. I guess I should show some of the rest of them. She has this one unlocked, but, again, Dimitri is too sulky and angsty to increase supports right now.
Catherine, Thunderbrand, I'm here to see it.
I love how straight to the point he gets.
Well, that came out of the blue.
I wish for you to show me Thunderbrand so I may better understand the relic before I attempt to use it.
I don't think you should be attempting to use Thunderbrand. That'd be kind of suboptimal, let's just say.
You want to use Thunderbrand. Is this a joke?
Well, you see, I need it to beat Caspar and prove that I'm right about my height theory.
By no means. My research demands this next step.
Have you paid any attention to your training? If you use a hero's relic that doesn't match your crest, you'll become a demonic beast.
Yeah, pretty sure you can only do this after Chapter 5, but I'm pretty sure Catherine can't even join before then.
I am well aware of what became of Miquelon Gautier. It is true that those lacking a crest are easily turned into demonic beasts when attempting to use any relic.
And that's exactly what I plan on doing. I'm going to turn into a demonic beast, and then finally I'll be able to beat Caspar. But I will have sacrificed my own sanity, but that's fine, and anything to beat him.
However, research indicates that if you have a crest, even if the relic is not compatible, it's less likely that you will be transformed against your will.
Less likely, but still possible, and when that possibility is turning into a rampaging monster and losing all sense of self, pretty sure I wouldn't take that risk.
Less likely doesn't mean impossible. I won't let you take such a dangerous gamble.
There's no recorded example of a transformation occurring after a single use of a relic. One attempt is barely a gamble.
You know what? I'm almost getting, I don't know, just very slight drug vibes in a way. It's like, oh yeah, using it once is not going to cause any major issues, and that's how it all starts.
So, as a man of science, let me use it just once.
Nope, never.
Let's say you're right and I do become a demonic beast. What of it? I'm the only one who will be inconvenienced.
Really? What would everyone else think?
And I've already made preparations to be subdued should that occur. I fail to see your problem.
You're a fool. Don't talk about the hero's relics like they're toys to play with.
Fine then, forget I asked. There is no persuading you when you're angry. Let us resume this conversation another time.
If you come back another time, you'll find my position hasn't changed.
Yeah, that's actually kind of dark that he thinks only he will be inconvenienced if he turns into a monster. And he probably made some kind of thing with Caspar saying, okay, so if I do turn into a monster, please punch me in the face a lot.
Not this time.
How about this?
Too slow.
You're mine now!
Not quite.
Ah, why can't I do it?
What's wrong, Caspar? Worn out already? You said you wanted to keep going until you managed to hit me.
Oh, I'm gonna hit you. Just let me catch my breath. Losing to you over and over again is exhausting.
That's because you rely on sheer power. You're moving around more than you have to, and it's a waste of energy. You need to start using your head, or you'll never even land a blow.
Well, you were taking some pretty big swings yourself, you know.
I have more experience than you. I can use my energy more efficiently.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You are the famous Thunder Catherine, after all. Wait, I just realized something. I get to train with the legendary wielder of Thunderbrand.
Finally, that lost item from really early is coming full circle.
Why is that just occurring to you?
I guess it didn't really sink in until now. I'm training with someone I've always looked up to. You're a legend. Everyone knew about the power of Thunderbrand, even in the Empire.
Stop. I'm not nearly that impressive.
But you are. When I was younger, my friends and I would fight over who got to pretend to use Thunderbrand whenever we would play.
If they actually saw me fighting, I doubt that game would be very popular. I will cut down anyone, even a child, for the sake of my mission. On the battlefield, there is no Thunder Catherine. Only a bloodied soldier crawling in the mud, hacking desperately at her enemies.
So, really not that different from Dimitri in the end.
Sure, but
I'm not a hero. I fight only for Lady Rhea and the Goddess. What about me is admirable, Is it my deeds? Or my blade?
Okay, that's it. That's an interesting support, though. It actually reminds me of some things that I read about, I don't know.
How are you, Catherine? You look well enough.
Like, there's a sort of a manga that goes into, like, what happened around, like, Japan during the Second World War, and it talks about how a lot of kids were really idolizing soldiers back then. And then it mentions if they knew what those soldiers were really doing, then... yeah.
Oh, yes, I'm fine. Never better.
That is good. I cannot help but be concerned, given your tendency toward incautious behavior. While boldness can be a virtue, I do hope you will bear in mind that recklessness is not. A moment's negligence can lead to a mortal wound for even the most skilled fighter.
You worry too much. If they saw me in action, the wounds themselves would cower.
That is precisely the attitude that worries me, especially given your history. You have been gravely injured before, as you no doubt recall.
Okay.
Me, gravely injured? When did that happen?
You mean you have forgotten? It was during your days as a student at the Officers' Academy. There was an excursion, a monster hunt. You charged ahead and left your fellow students behind. You ended up alone and surrounded. You almost died. Do you truly not remember?
Are you sure? All I remember is cutting down monsters left and right.
That is true enough, but you nearly bled to death in the aftermath. The Archbishop was so concerned for your life that she tended your wounds personally.
Oh, that was when that happened. Finally! It all fits together. Lady Rhea looking after me. Now that I remember clearly. That was the first time she ever spoke to me. I was lying on the ground, caked in mud, and she gently picked me up, even stroked my hair. The emotions were so overpowering that they must have just cleared away my memory of the whole incident. So it was during the monster hunt. Thanks, Sedith. That's been bothering me for ages.
And, well, I think she missed the point. No concern for the fact that she almost died.
That is not quite why I brought it up.
Come to think of it, Lady Rhea hasn't healed me since then. We've got to find Lady Rhea. And then maybe someday she'll honor me like that again.
Yes, maybe she'll become playable, and then she'll be able to actually heal you again. But yeah, that's probably a time lock support, because I'm guessing we find Rhea eventually. And that's all the Catherine supports. Alois and Mercedes, huh?
Mercedes, hello. I have a request for you.
Oh, Alois. What could you possibly need at this hour?
A little birdie told me you're good at telling ghost stories.
I suppose I am.
So it's true. Excellent. I'd like to hear one of your finest ghost stories. Would you be amenable?
Goodness, you want me to share one? Well, certainly.
So it's time for Mercedes' Believe It or Don't.
I'm rarely asked to tell ghost stories. Which should I tell? Perhaps the one I heard in the monastery the other day.
Wait a moment.
Is something the matter?
Well, I was only asking whether you'd tell me. The telling itself will have to be another time.
Are you sure? It's no trouble right now.
No, I have to steel myself. I have something important to do.
I see. That's a shame, but I suppose it can't be helped. If you don't mind my asking, why the sudden interest in hearing a ghost story?
Well, you see, ghosts terrify me. But I'm a knight. Someday, somewhere, I may have to deal with one.
A knight who's afraid of ghosts.
Yes, it's quite embarrassing.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. Even knights can't be stoic toward everything. I'm impressed that you're working so hard to face your fear.
No, it's nothing, really.
I will tell you my scariest ghost story the next chance I get.
Oh, it needn't be your very scariest. A moderately scary story will suffice. Thank you for taking the time.
Well, that was... Yeah, we kind of already knew that about Alois, but it's kind of nice seeing Mercedes interact with people outside of the students. Felix and Sylvain. No, Sedith and Ingrid.
Is something troubling you, Ingrid?
Oh, Sedith. You seem to have caught me when I thought nobody was around.
Perhaps I can help, if you would like to share.
I wouldn't want to bother you with my trivialities.
I will not pry, of course. But if you keep it to yourself, no one will be able to help you.
That's true. It's regarding my father.
Well, fittingly, I am a father. Oh wait, she's not supposed to know that.
Count Galatea. I have met him once or twice.
Well, you have likely heard that House Galatea's financial situation is precarious. Many regions of Fargus are harsh and infertile, but our lands are especially so. There were several years of fruitless harvests. It nearly ruined us. We could barely feed our troops. Then I was born bearing a crest, after generations bore none. Suddenly my family hung its future on me. My father had hopes that with my crest, I'd be married into a noble family, and that House Galatea's financial troubles would be a thing of the past.
Ah, I see. And the other house would benefit from the addition of your crest-bearing blood. It seems to me you have suffered much for the misfortune of being born with a crest.
I beg your pardon?
I know crests are highly valued, but they are also a burden. My feelings are mixed.
You truly think so? But you're so devoted to the goddess. I'm surprised to hear you say such a thing.
Perhaps one day I will expound upon my opinion of crests in greater detail with you.
And by one day, I mean when we get a B or an A support.
For now, let it suffice to say that whether or not you bear one is secondary to your identity. You are a person, first and foremost. And you should be permitted to grow as a person, crest or not.
I agree. Thank you for listening.
If you ever wish to discuss this again, consider me available whenever you please.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's interesting to know about Sedith. So, that's kind of part of why, again, I kind of lose a bit of sympathy points for Edelgard and her cause, because there are people like Sedith who are part of the church, yet still are not 100% pro-Crest and actually hold similar views to what she does, that Crest shouldn't define someone's life. and she's willing to just go to war with all of them without trying to negotiate, but anyway. Okay, so Flayn has Sylvain and Linhard.
Hey there, Flayn. I thought I'd drop by and see if you'd care for a...
And Mercedes jumps out of nowhere and punches him in the face.
Now, just a moment, Sylvain. If you must speak with me, I implore you to do so from where you stand. My apologies if this comes across as rude, but please do not come any closer to me.
Excuse me?
You see, Sedith is waiting in those bushes, and he will football tackle you if you do.
I am sorry. My brother has explicitly warned me not to go near you.
Sedith said that? I bet he also told you any woman who comes too close to me is, how does he say it? Doomed to misfortune?
He used those very words. Is it true then?
Come on. He's just messing with you, obviously.
Of course I would prefer to believe that, but one can never know for certain. Particularly when similar stories are constantly in circulation about you. I have heard that men and women alike have been seduced by your nefarious ways.
I hate to suggest my talents are being oversold, but...
I have heard that you toy with people's emotions, like a cat toys with its prey.
do I really look like such a villain to you?
Well, perhaps not. You do not strike me as much of a charmer.
When you put it like that, I feel like I should defend... Yeah, forget it. Let's get to the actual point.
Did I not tell you, Sylvain? Stay away from me.
It's kind of awkward talking from so far away. Can I please step just a little?
Truly, there are countless terrible stories of your behavior. I've heard that you panic when there aren't women around to flirt with, that you've gone as far as flirting with horses and even chickens.
Oh, come on. Who would even... You should know that your brother has an overactive imagination.
I just hit on grandmas and scarecrows. I draw the line at that.
I would like to believe that you are a sincere and reputable person, Sylvain. But there is no smoke without fire. Or so the saying goes.
I may not be the most respectable fellow you'll ever meet, but...
Until I can be certain, please refrain from coming too close to me. Now, if you will excuse me, I must be on my way.
Flame, wait! Come back! And she's gone. All I was trying to do was deliver a message. Flame, hey! The professor said we need to come to the cathedral! I'll run really far ahead so you don't have to walk near me! There, I tried telling her. The professor can't be mad about that.
He already is. And, oh, with this we've got all of the Cs she currently has available.
Now then, where is that book on dance?
Hello, Flame. I'm curious if you could confirm some suspicions I have.
Hello, Linhart. What is it?
I've recently been lost in study on the topic of Saint Setheline. You're familiar with her life, yes?
I know a little of her, as do many. But what does this have to do with me?
Interesting that you would ask that. Your question betrays your understanding of my inquiry.
I am quite certain that it does not, as a matter of fact.
I have interviewed several members of the Academy and the Monastery. All agree that you have trouble focusing on detail-oriented work. As I mentioned, I have been carefully researching Saint Sethlene's history, and I found several intriguing anecdotes concerning her life. Granted, it is not stated explicitly in the texts, but it is easy enough to read between the lines and get to the underlying truth. The authors of several tomes, all written within 50 years of Saint Sethlene's passing, imply she found it difficult to maintain focus on detail-oriented tasks. Then, just this morning, as I was studying statues of Saint Sethlene, I came to realize how similar her visage is to your own. Interesting, no?
I do not appreciate your disrespectful approach to this topic.
No disrespect intended, I assure you. Saint Sethlene is a major saint. I only mean to say that looking like her is an honor.
I actually meant that you are being disrespectful to Saint Setheline.
There was one other item.
If you must.
You are quite skilled in white magic, yes? My understanding is that you have a very high affinity for the art.
Yes, I do. I am confident in my abilities. I am glad of my abilities, for it is a way in which I am able to help others.
Indeed. Once more an echo of Saint Sethlene. I'm so curious as to why such similarities exist. Her crest? Perhaps hereditary traits then? Or is it possible I am allowing myself to see patterns where there are none?
I am very busy searching for a book. I will be going now.
So, it's very much like Linhardt to overanalyze everything and miss the most damning piece of evidence, the fact that her and Saint Sethlene share a birthday. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder whether maybe they actually are the same person, and that would make you Saint Keyhole, I guess? Because I think he shares a birthday too, and then Rhea shares a birthday with Saint Seros. I'm definitely, considering she's a dragon, I'm definitely on board with the Rhea is Seros theory, and also potentially that Rhea's slash Seros' mother was Sothis. But anyway...
Sylvain, I want to apologize for the other day.
I've completely forgotten what their C was, and that other day must have been 5 years ago.
The other day? What are you talking about, Felix? Is this a trap?
You know, when I called you insatiable.
Oh, that? Can't say it didn't hurt, but you have nothing to apologize for. I mean, you've said worse, Felix. Considerably worse. Come on, we've known each other since we were kids. We're not gonna let your constant verbal abuse get in the way of our friendship, are we?
No, I suppose not.
Whenever I started doing something dumb, you'd yell at me about it.
And whenever you dragged me into something, Ingrid would find out and start lecturing us.
All these years, and not much has changed, has it? But you're different, Felix. You used to be so, I don't know, carefree when we were young. Now you're the exact opposite.
Well, you're not any different. Good for nothing then, good for nothing now.
Again with the abuse. This from the guy who's always been by that good-for-nothing side. So, did you come to apologize, or to insult me?
I was on my way to train and I saw you. That's all.
You're off to train again? Now who's insatiable?
Better than sitting idle like you.
A little idleness would do you some good, pal. Come on, let me buy you something to eat.
No.
You have to choose, Felix. Our friendship, or your training?
My training. Goodbye for now.
It's an obvious answer. I'm allergic to friendship anyway, don't you remember?
What did... is he... Wait, Felix, I'll come train too. Wait up.
Okay, that was decent. Yeah, and their A is a two-parter as well. And that... Yep, that is everything that I had to do at this moment. So, yeah, that took longer than I expected, but... while I'm here, and on the subject of Felix, you do have a guaranteed pass rate for Mortal Savant. It is going to drop his speed a little bit, but on his strength too, but I think it's going to be worth it. The Mortal Savant exam. You feel like you do not care about what you're wearing, as long as you are strong in battle. I mean, it looks kind of cool, but it is a little bit ridiculous.
Easy.
You've got a 70% pass rate into that, but I mean, you're kind of strong enough as a warlock as is. Oh, and you'll lose Black Tome Fair if you do that, but I get the feeling that you'll keep it if you master Warlock, so might as well have you try and master Warlock. Ingrid, however, I see no reason why I shouldn't just do this. The Falcon Knight exam. When your Pegasus gained a horn, the entire fandom rebelled against you, but eventually realized it wasn't really that bad in the grand scheme of things.
I must continue to work hard.
I know the event I'm referring to was actually a unicorn getting wings, but still. Okay, they are selling Master Seals now, but they're pretty expensive. Oh, okay, I have Byleth and Linhardt A already. I may actually save that for another time. Oh, wow, that means that Byleth has at least Bs with everyone. Oh. Yeah, I kind of want to do this one later. Sorry, Linhardt. And yeah, now we just have the battle, so we may as well go to that. So yeah, I'd buy more Master Seals if I had the money, basically. But I could try and have Byleth go Hero. Because he has mastered Mortal Savon. He'll lose quite a... Because he has mastered Enlightened one. He'll lose quite a few stats, but I feel like I should probably try. Oh, right, I need Advanced Seals for that. Okay, now, the Hero exam. You feel like shields are just a visual aid for you to throw in the air while you get a critical hit, and are not useful for actually blocking things.
I've set my sights higher.
Okay, so with that, let's head out to... Yeah, of course it's an ambush. Of course it's an ambush. Why wouldn't it be an ambush?